Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. We're back here this morning. I know you're wondering what we have up our sleeves. We have joining us a group of young people this morning. I know that we're talking about something quite interesting, but let's begin with the introductions. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zainab.
And I'm Abede Raphael, Lagos State University.
Okay, Abin.
All right, so my name is Tomisi, and MIT, right? Lagos State University. No, because it's really hard to say that. So let's just make it clear that he wants people to know that he's a student.
Yes.
Anyway, we're talking about youths and authority figures this morning. Why exactly did I come up with this? I just discovered that quite a number of young people have deep set issues with anyone remotely in the position of giving them instruction. Either they feel you do not know better from the perspective of an adult. It looks as if they feel you don't know better than them. They feel that the world has passed our stage, no matter the age that you are. They feel like you are no longer in tune with the times and tunes. And you know, there is this attitude they put up to react whenever you remotely want to make mention of an instruction or a counsel. Many do not even understand the place of counsel. As far as they are concerned, all the elders should pack them and put them in one place, and then the young people should take over the world. And I'm just wondering, am I correct in my perception of how you guys see elders?
Well, to my own perspective, you see, nowadays, though I don't have such orientation for myself, but oftentimes...
Based on you and the number of people that you relate with, I mean,
Okay.
School environment gives you the opportunity to judge.
Okay, for me, before, I used to have this orientation that, you know, the elders, they refuse to share something with us that can make us succeed. Before, I used to have that thoughts in my mind.
Oh,
But then, as time goes on, I began to mingle with...
I need to move away from
No, it's fine, you're safe. So, as time goes on, I actually mingled with some elders that made some things known to me. I was discussing with one man like that recently, and he shared his own experience with me.
Okay.
And ever since, I have this belief that we need to move ourselves closer to the elders. Now, there's something a friend of mine told me, that those elders, they were able to succeed because, you know, things were easier for them during their time. And this man told me that even as at their time, things were not easy. It was even worse because then, during their own age, there was nothing like, you know, the phone we use now. So then if you have to get one sentence of information, you have to probably read through a whole
voluminous book.
I'm telling you.
There is no crash course on Google. You have an assignment, type it somewhere.
Exactly, unlike now.
And they go to the library
Exactly.
to comb through 50 books to get information about one topic.
And this man even added that, I know that he will actually spend 60 to 70% of the money he ought to use for food for the whole day. He will use 50 to 60% of it to buy newspapers, because the man was studying mass comm as well then. So because he wants to be a very good journalist, and then he decided that he wants to be informed. So because of that, he had to sacrifice 50 to 60%
of his feeding money
on newspapers daily. But then I observed that nowadays we youth, you know, we refuse to make such sacrifice. All we just want is, we just want everything to be, we just want good life. And we never move closer to these people that have been there. Because I see the elders as history. History is the study of the past, and it is used to project and to understand the present. And then when you understand the present, you can project the future.
Okay.
So let me just begin from another perspective. Now, I did say that this authority thing is a strange phenomenon to young people. Is it that the elders offended the youths, or it's just weird? I mean, it starts from something as little as greeting, all the way to something as little as errands, and then goes to the fact that they feel for you to be driving a good car, in fact, for you to be driving a car, it doesn't have to be good. They look at you with disdain, especially if the car is not good. Now, if the car is good, they look at you with envy. And I'm like, do you want to catapult yourself from 15 to 50? What happens to the in-between? Is the society responsible for this, or is it upbringing?
Partly upbringing and partly the society, because I've been opportune to work with people younger than myself, and I see that those in their teens are seeing, because they didn't have this much chance to separate while they were still young, in their toddler years to their teen years. That's what I observe, because you see that they are allowed to explore, they are allowed to move around when they are younger, and then when they're in their teens, there's instruction: don't go here, don't do this, don't eat, don't look at this person, be observant about this particular person. So this particular instruction, this barrier set around them, gives them this restriction, and they believe that this is when they are even supposed to move more around the place. They're supposed to explore more grounds with less instruction, less people giving them go ahead or watching over them. They call it like guard kind of stuff.
Oh, like a guard
So
dog. Why are you like
they
a
don't
guard
want that.
I don't need
eagle's
a
eye.
guard dog.
They don't want that eagle's eye around them. They want to move about, but they don't know that that particular period is even more dangerous for them, because that is when they become the adults that they disdain, the adults that they are looking at hating them. This is the point. This is their turnaround of either they'll end up being good parents or end up being bad parents. So, in my own experience, I thought that they hated me because I see the way they treated the younger siblings and the way they were treating me. They were giving me this guard, this type of do this, be this
Restriction.
good, be this good, so that you'll be an example. I said, wait, I was this age, and I was seeing it like you were still watching me. So now I'm this age, allow me to do some things now, and you are still watching me treat my younger ones. So that means I'm responsible for myself and for the behaviors of my younger ones. So later I learned that it is about creating a responsible adult. That is what they are working up to. That they want to create a responsible adult that will be able to take care of he or herself and take care of others.
Another thing I observe.
Not your tongue. All right, so you've heard from both of them. Let's take it down to the religious perspective. I thought that having religion play a vital role in the upbringing of a child was meant to make it easier on the child. But then I discovered that it is a home thing. When I'm at home, I am this. When I'm outside the home, I'm the other way. Do you feel young people feel compelled to follow religion? Is it a problem really?
Yes, to them is a problem, because in some home, maybe like now Muslim, from a Muslim background now, there are some girls, maybe when they are at home, they cover their hair, but when they go to school, maybe due to peer pressure or some things, they remove their hijab and they become something else in school. And sometimes it depends on their upbringing too. Some they may, like, I don't know how to say. Some, it depends on their upbringing.
Is it that they feel that the parents have are forcing them to follow their religion?
Exactly.
Or is it that they feel that the religion is not compulsory?
Let's say partially, they'll feel compelled and they even think it's not compulsory.
Oh. And we're not a religious country, but we're a religious society.
Yes.
And whether we like it or not, our parents believe in something.
Yes.
And as we're growing up, they take us along that path and compel us to believe in the same thing.
Exactly.
Teach us, compel, force it down our throats.
That force is what I would like to, I would like to say something about the word force. You see, this generation, my own generation, I observe that majority, when you're trying to force something on us, we actually see it as if you're kind of wicked, you're trying to force something on me. And this thing is bad now, but for me, I would suggest elders out there should try to embrace experimental process of, presenting something like that to this age, this generation. What do I mean by that? Now, there's a difference between me just telling you, sorry to use you as there's a difference between me telling you as my child now that, okay, stop doing this thing. Like, stop doing this thing. At times you can just look at me and be like, why is this father just too wicked? But imagine I just call you and I'm here sitting with you. I just explain to you the likely consequence, the outcome of that thing. I will let you know. Someone explained something to me and he was like, when you are telling the child, don't do something, and the child refuses, don't force him or her. Just probably find a movie that portrays that concept. Just find the movie, sit with the child, watch the movie, let the child see the outcome of doing such. Then just observe the child while the child is watching the movie. At times when probably you tell your child not to, engage in some sort of cultism or something, and the child, is like, what is my father saying? Okay, don't say anything. Just find a movie that relates to that topic, and then you can just after watching it, then when they later kill the cultist, then the child will be like, oh, then you can turn off or you pause the movie and then you turn to the child. You see, the moment you engage in such, this is exactly what is going to happen to you. That is different from just telling the child or trying to force that kind of, our parents believe that we should move in this way. Yes, we should move in that way, but this generation, if you don't systematically present this to them, they will be like,
they will intentionally don't go the wrong way because they want to just deal with you, right?
And another thing, they look at they gauge success for their elders, for the elderly ones after them. Why I say so is that at my age, I'm gauging the success that those older than me has been able to achieve. And if they follow this particular street path and they're not able to get that success that I'm thinking they ought to have got, then I'm like, I need to change the course. In the path of changing the course, you can either go the wrong route and detest the right way. That's the problem you have.
Because they feel sometimes some children look at their parents or look at their elders and they feel that if this is how you lived your life and you turned out like this, I don't want to be like you. Right?
Yes.
So it's true.
Well, in that case, I will advise parents lead by example. Or let me say elders should lead by example.
It's not about leading by example here. For example, what if Yorubas will pray and say, don't pray to have a better yesterday than today, right?
Yes.
But my question is, you do not write destiny, and you do not write history, your own personal history. You strive to make today better than yesterday, and on a daily basis you do it. At some point, people go through a lot and then they just stop striving and they say, "Whoa, I
give up."
They now begin to focus all their energy on their children not going through the same thing.
Okay, and on the part of history, because mostly the younger ones are acting out most of the behaviors of the older ones. Why I say so is because of parents and children. So I have the opportunity of having aunts, uncles. So they are talking about my dad when he was younger. They're talking about my mom when she was younger. My mom talks about herself when she was younger. My aunts talk about herself when she was younger. And I'm able to trace their behaviors in my own life. So now, if there's a bad behavior in the way they have lived their life, so I can change that.
Yes.
That's the opportunity of having
Sharing
discussion.
history.
But in the part where you have this kind of background where people don't talk about themselves, they don't allow you to interact.
Or where the parents say, when I was in school, I am usually the person that takes the first position.
That's a huge lie.
I confess all the time.
That's the
see-
biggest lie. Biggest lie of the time.
I could remember clearly there was a time when I was in primary school. Yes, moving from primary 3 to primary 4. Then there was this friend of mine. He usually, take the first position. I used to come after him. Then I told my mom. My mom looked at my results and she was like, I know you can do better. That was all she said. Then I told my mom, I said, this coming exam, I'll take the first position. Okay, my mom said, no problem. She even told some of my teachers about it. And then, lo and behold, when we wrote the exam, I came first. And one of my teachers, till date, whenever she see me, she will be like, no, I respect this boy. Because he said something, and he was able to achieve it. My mom was like, I'm proud of you. Because I told her, it's not about, my mom don't force me. I could remember, there was a time when I had, I had 14th position in the class. That should be primary 2 or something. When my mom saw that result, she was like, okay, I know you can do better. That's all she can say at that moment.
So it means that the approach and the manner of correction and the openness of the parent with the child also influences the way the children behave.
Yes.
And yes. I will keep hammering on the fact that the parents need to discuss more to be able to include these children in and help them grow up. Even in the part of depression and peer pressure, it is the parents that actually have a huge role to play, even though the younger ones the youths don't want to accept that fact, but they actually do have a role to play. When they tell you about their life, okay, you don't believe them probably because they're your parents or they're closer to you, they're trying to forge a kind of good reputation about themselves. Then if you get to meet somebody that knows them,
And the person tells you the stories about your
and
parents.
it correlates with what you had. So you are now lining a particular picture about them, and because of that picture, you tend to try to align your life to be better than that, and so you get to.
Now
Because
it
there
is
is a path.
possible. It is possible
Just
that
like we need to go.
such
It is possible. Possible, no. We've been talking this morning about youths and authority figures and how to bridge the communication gap between the two. Our concern is to make sure the parents are able to set an example, and our concern is also that the youths and the young people are able to take the example without feeling pressured by the adults in their lives. It's been the Bumper Breakfast this morning, and of course, we do this Mondays to Friday. We'll see you again tomorrow, Friday, on the Bumper Breakfast. My guests, thank you so much for joining me on the Ukana. We'll see you again next week. And tomorrow, Friday, is all about entertainment, and of course, it's all about you. So don't miss it.
Bye.
Bye.